I'm starting my walk today at Limehouse station on the north side of the River Thames, but I really want to be on the south side. So what I'm going to do is do something that's quite unique to London, and that is walk a road tunnel, the Rotherhithe Tunnel to, well, Rotherhithe. Before we set off on our walk today, I just want to point out that I got one of the freshly repainted C2C trains. It makes it look like it's one of the new ones, but it isn't. Limehouse station was known as Stepney East until just prior to when the DLR came through in 1987, as on that railway line itself there was a separate station with that name, which is why this one didn't originally have it. It's really no distance at all from the exit of the station to the entrance to the tunnel, so let's go and do this. Well, here I go. I won't see daylight for about a mile or so, 20 minutes it should take. Let's hope I make it out of here alive. I've come across the first of 4 ventilation shafts. Well, this is actually the 4th one, isn't it? This is just silly. What am I doing? The Rotherhithe Tunnel opened in 1908. I think on average it only sees about 20 people walking a day. Why am I one of them? I've come across the 2nd ventilation shaft, which means I'm now on the north bank of the Thames, basically. This was actually used as a pedestrian entrance, but it closed back in the 1970s, hence the staircase here. It'd be useful if that was in operation today. I would have cut out a good section of the tunnel. One long straight section under the River Thames now. I'm about halfway, or I've just crossed the halfway marker. I'm at the bottom of the stairs at ventilation shaft 3, the former southern pedestrian entrance to the tunnel. Just filming it this way just to clarify that I am indeed down here and I didn't just nab these clips from elsewhere. It's definitely slightly harder to breathe down here. The air is definitely heavier, and this sign here, exhaust fumes do not loiter. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Ventilation shaft 4. Yeah, okay, I know it's 1, but we've done it the other way around, which should mean that around this corner I'll see daylight. Yeah, there we go. Oh, thank God I'm out of there. I don't think I'll be doing that again. Well, there you go. That was the Rotherhithe Tunnel. What a strange way to start a walk. Rotherhithe Station is up these stairs here. I'm not going to go through it. I'm going to stick to the tunnel road until we pass through what looks to be like a tunnelling shield at the end of it. Oh, well, that wasn't very nice. I'm gonna have to drink water now to get rid of all the grime. My mouth feels very dry after all the exhaust fumes, but at least I've done it, I guess. I only did it for the novelty. Now, until 2006, there did actually used to be a bus route through the Rotherhithe Tunnel, the 395, which, due to the width restrictions of the tunnel, was the only London bus to run minibuses. It got taken out of service, much like the pedestrian entrances, due to low usage. But the 395 does exist today in a different form. It's a route up in Harrow that runs to Westway Cross Retail Park in Greenford. That ties in nicely to the Silvertown Tunnel, which will be opening next month and will have bus routes running through it, but it won't be pedestrianised, which I want to say is a missed opportunity, but at the same time I'm kind of glad there's no path right alongside the road, because it won't be that nice. I'm sure we'll have lots to discuss about the Silvertown Tunnel when it does open, as I'll make a video riding the bus routes through it. I feel like I've taken years off my life doing that. I wouldn't recommend, unless you just want to do something completely random and unique in London, though I would discourage it. If given the choice between walking that and the abandoned railway tunnel in Bath, I know which one I'm taking every single day of the week. Considering I called that one of the best paths I've ever taken on a walk, that actually might be one of the worst paths I've ever taken on a walk. Stick around though, because we're not just featuring the Rotherhithe Tunnel today. I'm going to go and explore a lot of places around this part of London now. So our walk on the south side of the Thames starts off by heading down towards the former Surrey Commercial Docks by this rather impressive brick chimney here. Already we're seeing just how different the docks have now become. Here's some former offices here for the docks, and then right behind it a giant new towering block of flats. Canada Water Station. The distance between this one and Rotherhithe is one of the shortest in the country. It opened in 1999 to provide a connection with the new built Jubilee Line extension. The bus station here is the terminus of the iconic 1 bus route. So I do want to question why this timetable here thinks it takes 33 minutes to both Aldwych, Holborn and Russell Square. I'd like to see the express busway that buses take to do all that in less than a minute. Because the London Overground stops here now, and it's not just the Underground, that does make it a national rail station, and it is actually the busiest 2-platform station in the country. I remember coming here one time when the London Marathon was on, and it was temporarily renamed for one day to Buxton Water. It had a sponsorship. There's a new built red bridge outside the station which cuts across the water. This opened back in November 2024, so I'm going to get to do this for the first time. Get a good view of the chimney and even the gherkin in the City of London back that way. It does feel like I'm just passing through a wetland almost, which is quite strange because it just brings you out to a shopping centre, the Surrey Quays shopping centre. I noticed that Surrey Quays shopping centre has a Burger King, still with the old logo. And in the Metro newspaper this morning, it said that for today only, you can get a free Whopper burger. So I've grabbed one, and I'm going to go sit by the water and eat it for lunch. Well, I've sat and ate my burger here at Greenland Dock, which is one of the surviving remnants of the former Surrey Commercial Docks, which were around here. It's one of the oldest docks in London. I love that it's managed to survive despite all the redevelopment taking place around it. Part of that redevelopment did see the Surrey Quays shopping centre get built, which saw the name of the station change from Surrey Docks to Surrey Quays. Interesting that this sign here labels it as a tube station. It's not been a tube station since 2007. It reopened as part of the Overground in 2010 and is currently getting a new station entrance. Okay, it's covered in bird poo, so you have to excuse that, but there's some great old images there of the docks. There used to obviously be a lot more than there is now. There's a bridge here as well, which is a remnant of it. Presumably there would have been water under this point. Walking up alongside Greenland Dock, and it looks like there's some sort of rail down here. I don't know if this would have been a railway line or perhaps it would have belonged to a crane which would have ran along here and unloaded goods from the ships docking up here. Now recently I did a walk along the former Grand Surrey Canal, which would have had arms down to Peckham and Camberwell through Burgess Park. And I mentioned in that video how it would have ran up towards Surrey Quays and into the Thames around here. Well, it would have made a very sharp turn left, cut across the docks here, and behind me, I think it's fairly obvious, this is the route of the old canal, which closed back in the 1970s. A lot of things seem to close back in the 1970s. Wow, this looks like it's a former swing bridge of some kind, which is tucked behind the road here. You can easily walk past and miss this. I will say that it's much nicer to smell the churned water from this fountain than the fumes from the cars in the Rotherhithe Tunnel. This is the site of the old Norway dock. You'll find that a lot of them were just named after places where we would have imported goods from. Canada Water, for example. Another example is Russia Dock Woodland here, which, unlike a lot of the docks in this area that were turned into houses, this was just turned into a nice little nature area. It's a great little way marker here to places which are a long way away. I'm not walking that distance today. You do have the old canal bed here again, as well as the little pillars to the side which you would tie your boat up next to with rope. You know, I've passed through here before, but I never really paid attention to the fact that this is an old canal that I'm walking over here. There's actually a bit of water down there as well. This is very cool. There's a lot of remnants, it seems, way more than I thought, of the old Grand Surrey Canal. Last time I was here, I think it was about 3 years ago now, I remember spotting a fox in the sun, like today, sleeping on the bench over there. Oh, well, this is too intriguing not to pass up the opportunity to climb to the top of this hill here. Well, this is fantastic. You get incredible 360-degree views from up here of Canary Wharf in that direction to the city in that direction, as well as the Shad, which is where we'll be ending today, by London Bridge. So this is Stave Hill. I want to say this is the best part about Russia Dock Woodland, but I really like the former canal as well that you can see. This was constructed in 1985 from rubble from the construction of the new houses around the former docks here. It reminds me of North Fields, very similar thing, hills in West London that were constructed from the debris of the construction of the Wembley Stadium and Westfield White City. This definitely, to me, feels like a hidden gem of London. You can even see Tower Bridge poking out, former gas holder over there as well. Why this isn't more visited like other viewpoints in London, like Hampstead Heath, I say I don't know, but maybe it's because it's just so very well hidden here in the former docks. Canary Wharf is so imposing because we're so close to it here. This might be a new favourite viewpoint of London for me. I really like this spot. I don't know what is going on over there, but I've come out by Doubletree Docklands now, where you can catch a ferry service over to Canary Wharf. It's situated out on Rotherhithe Street, which is the longest street in London, not lane, not road, street, at about 1.5 miles long. I'm not walking all of it, but I am just going to head up here for a short while. I'm coming off of London's longest street by the Pageant Steps here. I do like there's a step-free route up them. I'm surprised I don't see that more often. The River Thames is just up there. We'll go and have a look at that in a moment though. I just wanted to come and have a quick look at Lavender Pond Nature Reserve first though, which opened back in 1982 on the bed of the old Grand Surrey Canal. It's very nice here. Well, here it is, the magnificent River Thames. I've finally come up to have a look at it today after walking under it earlier. I'm standing on a bridge which I think is very much the end of the former Grand Surrey Canal. This is where it would have come out into the Thames. There's the old pump house there, back in the nature reserve. Well, the plan now, quite simply, is to walk the River Thames for the rest of the day. I might come off it a couple of times throughout. This is just like my last walk actually, where we went to see a sculpture park on a former golf course, and then we followed the Thames down to Erith. That was a very industrial part of it. This is a very historical part of it. All the old former docks and wharves and whatnot. And I'm really glad I've chosen today to do this walk. I wanted to make the most of the sun being out because it's just glorious to walk along the River Thames when the weather is like this. So I found these steps down to a little beach beside the River Thames with a great view of the city buildings over there. Can you make out an orange rotunda shaped building beneath all the skyscrapers? That is the ventilation shaft to Rotherhithe Tunnel. That is the former pedestrian entrance on the north side. If we carry on a bit, I mean I have to go around this building on the street, we will see the south side entrance. Well, here it is, the former pedestrian entrance to the Rotherhithe Tunnel on the south side of the Thames. It's a very nice little structure, to be honest. Shame it's no longer in use. I like how the Rotherhithe Tunnel was ages ago when we walked through it, and yet this walk is still tied to it somewhat. From this point I can actually spot the old gas holder that we saw from Stave Hill. I can see ladders going up the side of it. I'd love to climb them. I've come off of the River Thames down Canonbeck Road to have a look at this building, which I think is pretty obvious because it closely resembles the other one we saw is the other ventilation shaft for the Rotherhithe Tunnel on the south side. I don't think you can see the other ventilation shaft on the north side of the Thames though. I think road construction basically obliterated that one. The Rotherhithe Tunnel is not the only tunnel in these parts though. You do also have the Thames Tunnel, which was the first under a navigable river anywhere in the world. It opened in 1843 initially as a pedestrian tunnel. I'm sure it would have been nicer to have walked through than the Rotherhithe Tunnel, but is now used by the Windrush Line trains between Wapping and Rotherhithe. And there is the Brunel Museum here, named after Mark Brunel, who designed the tunnelling shield, and Isambard Kingdom Brunel, his son. You can go in to where the shaft was dug to form the tunnel, essentially the birthplace of the Tube, the London Underground. Here in the appropriately named Tunnel Road by the Mayflower pub, I've come across a street sign for an old London borough I've never seen before, Bermondsey. I've also never seen one actually call it a metropolitan borough before. Right of Way. Is that actually the street name, or are you just telling me that it's a right of way? Because it doesn't look like it is anymore. When I've got this view beside the River Thames, with so many classic London shots in one, the Shad, Tower Bridge, the city buildings, St Paul's Cathedral as well, it really makes me appreciate London. I think I live in the best city on earth. Now, if I didn't have a closer look at the map before coming out today, I might have missed this, especially as I probably would have been focusing on the River Thames over on that side. But right here, you have an old manor house that would have belonged to King Edward III. I just love that the remains of this here, the ruins of it, can be completely looked over, and it's just in the middle of a very normal estate nowadays. Over 650 years old this, and you can easily overlook it even if you're just hanging out at the Angel pub over there or by the River Thames. I'm having to divert around away from the Thames because of the super sewer construction work, which apparently finished 2 years ago. So not only today have we seen where the former Grand Surrey Canal would have came out into the Thames, but we also get to see where the River Neckinger meets the River Thames. And what I'm going to do is walk down alongside it, cross over, and come back to the Thames on the opposite side. By doing so, it allows me to pass by some very nice old buildings here, like New Concordia Wharf. Now, the River Neckinger is actually one of London's lost rivers. It's pretty short, it rises back in Southwark, and only on this bridge and down where it meets the Thames is where you can see it out in the open. In coming down here, it also allows me to come across one of my favourite bus stop names in London, Dockhead. I love this street here, Shad Thames it's called, with all of the gangways linking the old wharf buildings together. Decided I'm going to take this rather than walk alongside the River Thames, which is just over there. You can just about see Tower Bridge peeking into frame there. What I'm going to do is come off of Shad Thames and walk over the Horsley Down Old Stairs, because it gives you a fantastic view of Tower Bridge, one that I've not seen before. That is amazing. I do think it is my favourite bridge in London. It's the easternmost one on the Thames, apart from Dartford Crossing, of course. The reason why you mostly have tunnels past this point is because the river is just too wide. It would be too much of a challenge to construct bridges. At this point, you can see the old City Hall building that was vacated back in 2021. I don't think they've done anything with it yet. It's moved over to the Royal Docks now. So I've come away from the Thames one last time because there's a couple of things I want to look at around London Bridge area. The first being Gibbon's Rent, which is literally labelled as a secret garden. Maybe it's Gibbons or Gibbons. You would never really know that this was here, would you? Right in the shadow of the Shard. I can hear trains coming out of London Bridge Station, which we're going to have to walk under in a moment. You know what, at least this tunnel underneath London Bridge Station is very loud, but it's better than Rotherhithe Tunnel. The second location is Vinegar Yard, which isn't open yet. It's only open in the evenings. There's bars in there and whatnot, so definitely a place to come and hang out near to London Bridge. It's quite weird to come across an inverted National Rail symbol, but I am going to pass through London Bridge station now to get to the other side, back beside the River Thames. I personally love this walkway that links the National Rail and tube platforms together. And now I'm cutting through the magnificent Hayes Galleria to get back to the Thames. I've never actually walked through here before. I've just passed it on the Thames path and thought that looks magnificent. As you reach the Thames coming out of Hayes Galleria, you come across a brilliant mosaic of the old London Bridge, right in front of all of the city buildings that make up where London was founded by the Romans. Roman Londinium. HMS Belfast is just over there as well. And we're going to end the walk alongside the River Thames up to the much newer London Bridge. It's just a shame this walk has to end with the worst set of stairs in London. They are angled so weirdly. It's just funny because at this stage it's coming up to 5 PM and it's just a constant flow of people crossing London Bridge, going home from the city to get the train to their home in South London. There's going to be people crossing this bridge, a constant flow for hours now. Well, that walk turned itself around, didn't it? From the grimy Rotherhithe Tunnel to a magnificent stretch along the River Thames in the sun. If you're coming to do this walk for yourself, please don't start at Limehouse. Start at Rotherhithe or Canada Water Station.
Monument Station.
The offices to the station to get home from